You're listening to Indications by the Conference Board.
Welcome to the Conference Board's Indications podcast. Indications is a public podcast featuring our global roster of thought leaders. Topics range from economic growth and competitiveness to human capital, governance, sustainability, and beyond. Each episode is a serious conversation grounded in data and insights that will keep you ahead of the curve in a turbulent world. I'm here with my colleague Lynn Franco, Senior Director of Economic Indicators and Surveys at the Conference Board. Welcome, Lynn. It's always great to speak with you.
Good to be back, Dana.
So let's discuss the most recent consumer confidence survey. Consumer confidence ticked higher in June, nearing the pre-pandemic level. What are your thoughts about this development?
Well, we've actually seen a pretty steady increase over the last couple of months, and that really coincides with the reopening of the economy, loosening of restrictions, higher vaccination rate, lower infection rates. And so overall, this is very positive news.
That's great. Well, I noticed that the present situation continued to march higher in the report. Tell us about that.
Yes, we've seen a pretty steady march in the present situation index, which is good news. It really tells us that the economy has been strengthening. So we're expecting a very strong Q2 reading, and this strength we expect to then spill over into the remainder of the year. And it's really both an improvement in business conditions, which consumers are telling us have improved over the last few months, as well as employment conditions. So a combination of two factors.
So I noticed that expectations picked up in June after a dip in May. What do you think drove that behavior?
Well, we're seeing that the percent of consumers are telling us that they expect business conditions to get better over the next 6 months, ticked up. Also, income expectations increased as well. And that could in part be due to some of the additional benefits that we're expecting parents to begin receiving in July. But I think it also just speaks to the general strengthening that we've seen in economic conditions.
Talk to us about buying plans. Are consumers going on vacation yet?
Yes, they are. We're seeing that consumers are definitely venturing beyond their front door. Despite the uptick that we've seen in inflation expectations, it's not hampering confidence or intentions to spend. So not only are they going on vacations, but they're also, we saw an uptick in those intending to purchase an auto, intending to purchase a home, and major appliances. So they're sort of ready, willing, and able to spend.
Do we see any differentiation in confidence by age or income level?
Well, I think the good news here is that we've seen gains across all age groups and just about every single income group as well. So this is sort of a very broad-based improvement that we've seen across, all demographics.
Also, when I looked at the regions and the states, it seemed like most states experienced an increase in confidence. Tell us about that.
Yes, we've seen, again, a lot of the states, except for two, that had very minor decreases post gains in consumer confidence. And I think two notable states are New York and California. We know both were very hard hit by the pandemic. And New York is now at 123.7, which is a very healthy reading, its highest level since February of 2019. And California is at 127.9. Its highest reading since March of 2019. So it's very broad-based and a very good sign for those states that were very hard hit.
You mentioned earlier one-year inflation expectations. Well, I saw that they rose to the highest level in 11 years in June. Do you think that they might rise even higher?
They may. We've seen, food prices and gas prices increasing, but it appears to be transitory in nature. I mean, some of this is being driven by sort of the return to normal, where we've seen, prices, airfares in particular, increasing. We expect those to stabilize in the longer term, but it's not had an impact on confidence, and it's not had an impact on consumers' income expectations. So there's not a sense of diminished purchasing power, which I think bodes well for growth.
That's really great news. And what factors do you think might continue to support consumer confidence going forward?
I think job growth is probably going to be the longest term supporter of consumer confidence. We've got some benefits that will be coming out in July that will help support confidence in spending as well. But I think as the labor market goes, so will consumer confidence.
Well, thank you, Lynn, as always, for such great insights. This has been Indications from the Conference Board. If you enjoyed this podcast, you may listen to additional Conference Board offerings by going to www.conference-board.org/podcast, or find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for listening.
This has been Indications from the Conference Board.